EU leaders are jubilant over the outcome of the Hungarian elections after 16 years of working alongside an uncooperative Eurosceptic Viktor Orbán. Congratulation messages have been pouring in from all across the continent, from Kyiv to Dublin. For more on this new chapter of EU history, we can turn to Michel, the former EU Council President and former Belgian Prime Minister. Welcome.
Good morning.
Tell us your reaction to the news.
That's a very important moment for the EU, and it's also a historic moment for the future of Hungary. And I feel that based on this result, it will be possible to have more European unity. And also, I think it's a clear signal of support for Ukraine. That's very important in the current context. And let's be clear, that's also a defeat for the White House.
And did you expect this?
Yeah, look, the polls gave the indication that we are close to such a result, but until the end, we never know. And today, I think that that's an important step for more European unity, and I hope that it will allow the European Union to be more integrated, to be more ambitious, and finally, to make the decisions to make this European sovereignty not a slogan, but to make it a reality.
Well, you've spent many EU summits inside there with Viktor Orbán. Will we see less drama now that he's gone?
I don't know, because in fact, that's not because Viktor Orbán is not any more member of the European Council that suddenly everything will be easy. We found that within the European Union, we have to be lucid about that. But it's absolutely clear that on various topics, especially our relationship with Ukraine, our relationship with the White House, the role played by Hungary was a disturbing role.
And you mentioned Ukraine. Of course, the €90 billion loan is still being held because of Hungary. Could that be released now with the change of government?
There is no reason anymore to wait, and I expect the European institutions to make bold and quick decisions, and it's absolutely essential, because I think that more than ever, the Ukrainians deserve our support.
And what about the frozen funding for Hungary that's also been on hold because of rule of law issues and corruption issues in Hungary? Should that be turned around now?
Look, I'm a strong supporter of the rule of law, and now we have to see how the new government in Hungary will manage and will put in place the reforms that are needed, will give the signals that what they have announced before the elections will become a reality in the country, which will allow, I suppose, the European institutions to make decisions in favour of unleashing the financing for Hungary.
And Donald Trump sent J.D. Vance to Budapest last week. But it seems that the MAGA move is just not so attractive for Europeans.
It made me very happy, because it means that the European voters, at least the Hungarian voters, are not intimidated, are not destabilized, even when we see and when we face such a level of political interferences. I don't remember in European history an American president participating in a political meeting through a phone call to express such a level of support.
Was that foreign interference?
That's an interference for sure. That's something which is not usual among allies, among friends. We don't act that way, and it means, I repeat again what I said several times, that the list of our differences with the United States is getting longer and longer, and I don't blame the United States. I just think that the EU, we have to face our own responsibilities and to make our own decisions and to be more assertive in promoting our values and defending our interests.
OK, let's see if anything changes. Michel, former Belgian Prime Minister and former EU Council President, thank you so much for speaking to us here on Euronews on Europe Today.